Fitness professionals, Americans, I am here to talk to you today about the Paycheck Protection Program and how to possibly get in round 2 of the funding. I'm going to give you some concrete ideas about what to do depending on what steps you are in the process. In order to get to that part of this, if you want to skip ahead, definitely check out the blog. We've got everything written out in long form there. You can go right to the section do you need, because I'm going to go at wind here because I'm pissed. And excuse the language, but I'm really fucking pissed. We cannot let this stand. We cannot have this Paycheck Protection Program going to businesses worth millions and billions of dollars. People, we need to wake up. I'm going to walk you through some stuff today. I'm going to show you why we should be pissed off, but I really do want to get to what do we do next? Because the Paycheck Protection Plan, we are going to see more funding. This is going to get funded here. We are going to see this come through. Now, just a small amount of people have been funded already, but we could see funding right now. This is Tuesday. I've been up all night. I'm up every night thinking about this, getting frustrated for you guys, for the fitness professionals out there. It's Tuesday morning. It's 5 a.m. and they very may well pass this bill in the Senate. Now, if you remember the last bill, the CARES Act, it passed in the Senate. It got stalled in the House for a couple of days, maybe a week, I forget exactly. And then it went to the president signed it, and then they have to get the funds out. Now, the process is in place to distribute the funds now if they are still going to use the banks again. But, this could theoretically put more money into the PPP program as soon as Wednesday. Do we think that's going to happen? We have no idea, right? So we need to get all our ducks in a row. We need to get ready for this funding. We want to get you this PPP money. You deserve it. You've been working hard. Your business is on the line, and we cannot let these big corporations take our money from us. I mean, this is money that is intended for folks right in this line of work. We've been mandated to be shut down. We can't have our customers in. We're, really struggling to pay our rent and to pay the team that we do want to pay, to pay the team that is working and performing work. And so, I want to help you guys get these funds. But let's go through a couple of things here. We're going to see more funding come in. We know that's for sure. The deal, it's been in the news. You've probably seen it. They're talking about getting funding out here, the Reuters article, and it's been all over the news. And so, but what happened here? What happened? We've got this Paycheck Protection Program. This money was supposed to go to small businesses. It was a small business relief program. Instead, we had 70 public companies so far that we know of that receive money from this. These are public companies worth millions, sometimes billions of dollars, with hundreds of locations, thousands of employees, and due to loopholes in the rules, which were, I'm sure, well-intentioned and placed to be there for a reason, that folks found a way through. And I sometimes don't, want to shame people for taking advantage of tax law, but, we know that these regulations were not here for these, intended to be here for these individuals. However, they lobbied, they got some loopholes put in. I mean, Potbelly here, they got money. They got $10 million. Shake Shack got $10 million. They gave that money back. Ruth's Chris got $20 million. People, they had $782 million in sales. I mean, the profits here are just insane. I mean, this is a business who makes $20 million a year. You cannot tell me that these people need the money. Where's their 6 months of savings? Where are their cash reserves? These are people who, they're only going to be bolstering their cash position so that they can pay their CEOs more millions of dollars. I just don't believe that this is how these funds are intended. And don't sit here and tell me this is to keep the employees employed. This money is going to go to essential employees and the people that Ruth's Chris and Shake Shack and Potbelly, these people that they needed, that they so much needed the money for, they would have gotten paid anyways. Come on, your company, Ruth's Chris has $86 million in cash reserves. People, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. They're a $5,000 5,000 person company. I mean, you just cannot make this kind of stuff up. I'm so angry. I'm so frustrated. I'm just beyond words, but I'm going to find some more words. 44% of this funding was for $2 million or more. That's not small business. That's people who have $1 million a month in payroll. Come on, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Loans of 2 million or more made up 28% of the total, just the number of loans, not even the dollar amount. The dollar amount that was 2 million or more was 44%. There were loans that were 5 million or more. Are you kidding me? This is not small business. This is not who this money was intended for. 25% of the money went to 2% of the firms that received the money. I mean, come on, we know that restaurants and hotel industries, they lobbied for this before the CARES Act was passed. They absolutely lobbied. It's been documented. And, these executives, they're going to get their $1 million salaries. Oh, they took pay cuts now. Get out of here with that shit. Cannot believe it. This legislation was passed, and normally when you pass SBA legislation, they have to disclose who gets all the money. But guess what happened in this one? Now, a special rule was made that nobody has to disclose where any of the money went. I wonder why that happened. Because the money was getting funneled through the banks so that they can enrich big corporations, while the small businessman maybe got a loan here or there, but they didn't give a shit because they were lobbied, and they're going to receive free dinners at Ruth's Chris and wherever else they want to go. And let's be honest, they're getting cash payouts, they're getting stock tips. Come on, these people, everybody is so corrupt. I'm so frustrated with it. We're here to talk about small business. We're here to talk about fitness owners who are struggling during this right now. You've got rent to pay, you've got people to pay. But look, this is just TARP money all over again. Does anybody remember the TARP bailouts in 2008? I mean, the TARP money went, and then banks literally, they didn't even hide it then. 2 days later, they went out and gave their CEOs millions of dollars of bonuses. I mean, does everybody have that short of a memory here that we thought we could trust the banks to be in the middle of this equation? No. And let's be honest, this is orchestrated. This was done on purpose. The SBA program has a way to fund people. They fund people directly all the time. And the reason this was run through the banks is so that corporation corruption, all these folks could get their hands on the cookie jar, and it'd be fine, maybe, if they had their hands in the cookie jar and all the small businesses got what they needed. Because, let's be honest, we can't stop corruption here. I'm not an idealist, but the fact that the money went to the big corporations first and small businesses are getting screwed is unacceptable. Please go to our website, read this blog post. We're going to get to the tips here in a minute. We're going to tell you what to do with your processes, but I want you to just truly go and write your senators, write your congressman, write the president. That's all we really can do at this point. You certainly can boycott some of these restaurants, but in other public businesses, hedge funds, other people that got this money. But I mean, really, if you believe in a democracy, we have a voice. We need to let people know, both with writing them and being active, and we also need to get out and vote. So I don't care what your political leanings are. This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit, and we shouldn't stand for it. And when you see bullshit, you need to call out as bullshit. Now, what you need to do, let's get into the meat of it. You need to get off of your ass. You need to do something. You need to get ready to be in the next wave of the PPP money. It's going to be funded. It's going to be funded soon, and you need to move. So whatever you're doing, whatever you have plans for today, tomorrow, if you don't have an SBA lending number, you need to spend all of your effort getting these funds. For a lot of folks, for a lot of our clients, this is $10,000, $20,000, $40,000. I've seen loans even higher for certain clients. Now, we're fitness, so a lot of us are smaller, but as a whole, some fitness businesses could be $100,000, $200,000 plus. And so what is your time worth? I've got to ask you, what are you willing to put in to potentially get a little bit of these funds? And the answer, obviously, is you do anything, right? Because you believe in your business, you're an entrepreneur. Look, this is not a motivational talk, but it's to point out the facts that if you take action, you have a much higher probability of getting these funds. And I want you to get these funds. I want you to get your taste so that, look, you're going to be paying this with your tax dollars. Every American is going to be paying back this money over the next decade, 2 decades, however long this lasts. And so you might as well get money that helps your business survive during this tough time. I've already had 3 clients file bankruptcy, guys. This is no joke. We're talking about real life stuff. And people have had to shut down, and I don't want that to be you. I want you to get help. I want you to get money from this PPP program. Now, the PPP program may not be the best one for you. Little sidebar, nobody's heard from the EIDL program. That one that supposedly had the grant, nobody has it. Everybody got this weird cryptic notice back that said, well, we'll give you $1,000 for every employee up to 10. And they were like, okay, well, now what? And nobody knows what to do. Nobody's gotten funds. So the PPP is really, for most of our fitness clients, the best option for them. There are certainly exceptions, but for most of you, let's talk about this audience. So if you haven't applied, you got to get out there and apply. So, the SBA, they've got information on their website, but applications technically have stopped, but there are some lending institutions that are still accepting them. There are some lending institutions that are not. So, Lendio, I had one client get a loan through here. I'm not affiliated with them. Cabbage is another one. I have someone going through here, but hasn't had one yet. Your small and regional banks are going to be the best places to go. Absolutely. Hit up your small regional banks. Those are going to be the people that are probably going to be able to push these things through. If you've already applied, I would recommend getting a backup application. I have applied. I've been approved through Chase. We've had 4 clients go bankrupt. We have all of our clients closed. We don't know. Our fallout is going to be huge from this, absolutely huge. And so, we applied for the PPP program. I'll be frank with you, but we're through Chase was our first application. We got screwed by Chase that prioritized all these big corporations. And so I have no idea where my application is in the giant stack of people that Chase is prioritizing. So I went with a regional bank, and I'm very happy with the process. I've already got all my stuff in, and I'm ready for round 2. And now I've got 2 banks vying for this, and whichever one gets approved, I'll accept that. And, if I do get approved by both, I can always decline one. You always have that option. So, the prudent person here is going to go out and they're going to try to get 2. The crazy, insane person is going to go through 3. I don't know if I can mentally handle doing 3 loan application processes, but, here we are. So, what are you going to need for the loan application process? You're going to need everything. They're going to want to know every single thing. It's just name it. It's going to be on the list. What you really need to know, check our other blog posts. You need to have your payroll calculations done to know what your average monthly payroll is. You can use 2019, or you can use a prior 12-month period. But you've got to have that ready. You need to. We've got that template available. You're going to need to work with your payroll processor, your payroll provider, get those figures and get them input so that you can calculate your average payroll. There's a lot of other stuff. I've created a list. It's on the blog. I'm not going to mention it all to you, but look, I'm just going to tell you one of these things they could need could be a property tax bill, voter registration card, utility bills. Down to the nitty gritty. So you got to have it ready. There's more in the blog post. Check it out, but be prepared. And the more you can be ready, the more you're going to be in front of, these other people, really. If you applied and you did not get a response back, you need to figure out where you are in that process. You need to contact a person at the bank and message them. If you've got someone you already work with, reach out to them. But look, be polite. The bankers are stressed too. Usually these individual bank representatives, they're getting a brunt of the, mean people, and they're getting frustrated. They're getting all the frustrations. They're not making these decisions. I don't believe these frontline bankers are. I've got my frontline banker at Chase. I love Ben. Ben is the nicest guy in the whole world, and he's taking the punches and he keeps on coming back. He's turning the other cheek. I think Ben's a great person, but Chase as an institution, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. And so, but if you've got a contact, reach out to them, be polite, be firm, and you want to find out the status of your application. Be ready, have your full legal name, EIN, and your confirmation number if you've got one. If you don't have someone at the bank that then you got to call the bank. You got to figure out who can you get in touch with there. Who can you talk to? Ask to be elevated, ask for a supervisor, ask for a vice president, ask for an email address, ask for a phone number, ask for an extension, and then really, if your application you haven't had any response, probably should start talking to other banks. Let's be real here. You probably should start talking to other banks. And that's what I would recommend, getting a backup bank in place. But do you forget about the first one? No. I would stoke both those fires, because if one of them, however much effort you put into this, if it takes you a whole week and it ends up giving you $10,000 for your business and your employees, if it gives you $40,000 for your business and your employees, it's well worth your time. All right, next scenario, if you applied and the lender needs more information, Yeah, this is the one we're seeing across the board. They're asking for more and more information. Now, lenders, this is their job, right? They do need to make sure that they've got everything they need that makes them feel comfortable to make the loan. Every bank has its own requirements. And so if they ask you something, go do it. And as a matter of fact, if they've sent a request and they ask you for something, go do it right now. Stop this video, go do exactly what they want you to do. If they tell you to jump, say how high. If they tell you to jump through a hoop, ask if there's another hoop. Keep going down the road. Now, sometimes the requests are sincere and they need the document. Don't give them a hard time, just do what they say. If they ask you for something you're not sure about, ask for clarity, Google it, talk to your CPA, talk to your attorney. Do not delay. Get it done. And don't say, oh, maybe this won't apply to me. No, just do it, get it done. Trust me, there's more in the blog post if you want to read more about that. I'm not going to go at length about it. Some of the lenders, they are going to ask for things that maybe you don't just have. You just don't have it. Ask them if there's a workaround. Ask them if there's something else they can do. Keep jumping through the hoops. There's nothing they can ask for that's too much at this point. You're supposed to do whatever they need in order to get approved for the loan. If you want the loan, you're going to do what they say. And again, you're still probably going to look for a backup lender because sometimes they jump you through hoops for eternity and you'll wonder if you're ever going to get to the end of the line. If you've been approved, but you don't have an SBA number yet, that's really good news. That means your lender said, hey, we got everything. Dude, you are good. You gave us all the documents, all the calculations. Now we're just waiting on the SBA funding. And so if the SBA funding comes through, presumably your lender will be in a position where they can click the button and they can just say, okay, now approve this loan. Whether you get approved or not is anybody's guess. Depends on how fast they click that button and where you are down on that list of applications. I talked to my banker at Chase. He said 20,000 Chase banks, 20,000 applications are approved and waiting for SBA approval. Wow. And that was yesterday. That was Sunday. There's probably 25,000 by now. Who knows? I don't know where I am in that pile. That's why I went with the regional bank as well. But if you don't have an SBA approval number, then you're not approved. They might say, hey, you're good. We got everything. We're ready. Unless you have an SBA approval number, you're not approved. You're waiting for this second round of PPP funding to come through. The next scenario that you could be in would be that you've got the SBA and the bank approved, but no funding. This is only true if you've got the SBA funding number. If you don't have that, if they didn't give you a confirmation number of the SBA confirmation, then it's not through the SBA. So that's what you need to figure out. Do you have an SBA confirmation number? If you did, holy hell. Congratulations. Let's jump. Let's smile. Let's celebrate. You can mail me a bottle of wine. I'll drink it. I like red. But that is what we've been working for. So if you've got to that point, time for celebration. Don't go and spend all the money, but you should get the money within 10 days of approval. That would be the plan. I've got a couple of clients in that boat right now. They've got the funds, they've got the approval, they've got the SBA confirmation number, but they're waiting on the funds to come in. It takes a while to shuffle around money and they have to get an actual, like a loan app, like a formal promissory note that they have to sign, and there's a little bit of paperwork afterwards, but they got the approval, so they know they're going to get the funds this week. We're preparing for it as their CPAs. We're getting ready to do those cash flow analyses that we talked about in the blog post. And then the last step of the process is funds have arrived. If you've gotten this money, congratulations. You're one of the few. You're one of the 4% of people who applied got this money. So you're a very small minority that got it. If you did, chances are you went with a small bank or a regional bank, and congratulations. This is only one step along the road, right? You've won the battle. The war is still happening. There's still a lot of stuff to do, a lot of work. Most of you guys aren't even open. You're not sure how you're going to pay rent next month. The list goes on. I feel for you. I really, truly do. I've been up every night thinking about you guys. And so, look, but if you get that money, what I want you to do is just breathe, all the ujjayi breaths, let's just take a deep one and relish in that for a minute. Now, I want you to make sure that you've got a plan for this money. If your accountant is going to assist you with it, then awesome. If your CPA is going to assist you, please use them, lean on them, and they should be helping you. They shouldn't be too busy to help walk you through this. Every accountant right now is staying up real late. We're all trying to help people through, but you should have a PPP forgiveness game plan and cash flow projections, figuring out where that money is going to go. Now, I want to back up and say one thing. Please only pay your workers who are currently working in essential if you get this money in. Don't bring people back in unless you've talked to your accountant about it. You really need to make sure that this money is put to its highest and best use, and bringing people back in who you may not need, who may not be the people you need to run the company, that may not be part of the forgiveness calculation, might not be a smart idea. So we are waiting on guidance. This is the key thing. So a lot of your accountants, if you are talking to them, nobody has guidance on what the forgiveness calculation looks like. It's Monday. It's late Monday. It's early Tuesday, 5 a.m, Tuesday, April 21st. And so we don't have guidance from the IRS on that forgiveness calculation. We're expecting it any day. Maybe this week, maybe by the end of April. And when that guidance comes in, we'll have a much better idea of how to disperse those funds. So my recommendation to my clients and to you, the fitness owner, is to only pay workers who are currently working with those PPP funds. And if you're not going to listen to me, if you're like, I really need some of this money, please don't take more than 25% of it and use it for anything else. If you're like, look, I really got rent due, I get it. Presumably, we're allowed to take 25% of this money and use it for rent and utilities and a few other select items. So if you got $10,000, you can take $2,500. If you got $40,000, you can take $10,000. That presumably is going to be acceptable, but we just don't know for sure. And that's why I'm saying maybe we do want you to wait. That's what I'm advising my clients, is to wait until we have that guidance. I've been rambling on. A lot of good ideas here, a lot of bitching here, but God, this is people's businesses. These are people's lives and livelihoods. There are things that they've built for years, potentially even decades, and we're in your corner. We want to help. If you have a specific question, if we can help, please reach out. When all the dust settles, if you're looking for an accountant, a certified public accountant in a firm that's got your back for bookkeeping, advisory, and tax services, we're your people, but that's not why we're here today. We're here to help you get the PPP money, and we're here to help you make it through COVID-19. If you have questions, you can email me, eric@thefitnesscpa.com. We're trying to help as many people as possible. No charge. We're giving answers out and trying to point you in the right direction. Stay strong. We'll make it through this together. And I hope you got value out of this. I really do. I hope you guys are getting value out of our content. Keep checking back. We're going to keep delivering it to you. Take care.